Welcome friends to another and maybe my very last Tarkir Dragonstorm Draft. I'm Nico aka Ananda MTG, always trying to make the magic happen on my journey to become a better drafter. So without further ado, let's draft. Alright, we have Surgo Thunder's Decree, which is a pretty strong card, but it's hard to cast, and I think Twin Maw Stormbrood is probably the better pick, just because it will also work in a red and white deck, while this only works in a Mardu deck. And I think Twin Maw Stormbrood is a pretty strong card. It could also work in a 5-color dragon deck. So other than that, we have Whirlwind Stormbrood and Quarry Mountain Stalwart. I do love those cards as well, both of them. But I think Twin Maw Stormbrood is a pretty nice first pick, so let's just pick that up and see where this goes. Now we have a fresh start plus a overwhelming surge plus another Quarry, and you know what? I think I'll take the Quarry because it's a pretty cool card. Also in the Jeskai deck, also in the Boros deck. It's a must answer threat, so why not pick up the Quarry? There's also the overwhelming surge, which I do love, but I think Quarry is just a pretty decent card. So let's pick that up and see what else will come my way. Alright, very solid first two picks. Here's another Quarry, and you know what? Why not? I think it's cooler and better than the Unsparing Boltcaster. So I'll try to make some aggressive kind of flurry deck. I should have taken the first Quarry as well, but yeah. Twin Maw Stormbrood is just pretty exciting. Just a solid 2 mana deal 5 spell, so yeah, why not take it? And here we have now. Obviously the weakest decks are kinda open. Which is the Sultai and the Absent deck. I think Stormshriek Feral is okay, it's playable. I do love Dispelling Exhale as well. But given my start, I think the Stormshriek Feral is just cool. It's not the best card in the Boros decks, and I still could go Jeskai, kinda. But I think as long as I find some playable red and white cards, I will take them. And here we have either Coordinated Maneuver, which works pretty fine in the Mobilized deck, but I don't have any Mobilized cards so far. So I think Jeskai Devotee is actually like, it's still a solid removal if I have enough cheap spells, but Jeskai Devotee enables us for a potential blue splash, so why not take the Devotee? It's a solid 2-drop that gets +1/+1 whenever I cast a spell, so yeah, happy to pick that up as well. Waiting for pick number 5. Super solid. Like, I had the biggest success I had in this format was with Mardu, was with Boros. I had have some success with also with the 5-color dragons, but I think red and white is just whenever it's open, I love to draft it just because it's super solid. Here we have either a Wayspeaker Bodyguard, which is cool because it returns me 2 non-land permanent cards with mana value 2 at 1 card, and it has Flurry as well. But there's also a Riling Dawnbreaker, which is just a super solid 2-drop. So I think I should be taking the Dawnbreaker and stay in those colors here. Now we have another Dispelling Exhale, which is a pretty decent card and very good sign that nobody plays blue. A Rashin Sunshield is also fine, but I think the Exhale is just slightly better. I don't want to splash blue, but if it's the smart choice, and I think it is the smart choice, because blue removal is coming my way here. Pick number 7, pick number 8. So can't wait to move on to pick number 9. And yeah. And here's nothing, like Scoured Barrens maybe, but I don't think so. Wild Ride is okay. I don't love it, just putting it in my sideboard for now. Alright. Okay, moving on, pick number 10. And here's again just nothing that's too spectacular. I'll just take the Twin Bolt and hopefully swap it for some better removal spell as soon as I open some other packs. But I do have a good feeling so far. I'll take the Dragonback Lancer just because it is a playable card. It's not my favorite card, just because it's 4 mana and we want to be cheapy. But I think I have some solid cards, so let's just see. Let's just see what else we will find and just hope for some Boros Bomb to open. Cruel Truths, Anok Wayfarer, Watcher of the Wayside. Let's just pick up the Anok Wayfarer, put it in my sideboard. And here we have an Elisha's Legacy. Elisha, I don't know. So picking that up and moving on to pick number 14. And then hopefully we will open some good stuff. I'm not too sure about the blue splash, but it helps to slow down the opponent. But what are we going to win with then? Here I will take either Sunpearl Kirin, which is kind of cool, but I think at the moment I am lacking removal spells, so I'll take the solid Osseous Exhale because that makes me happy. And now we have a Mardu Devotee, which I do love. Helps us with the splashing, all the stuff. It's a solid 1-drop. So that is a favorite card. Also scries when it enters. So that does everything that I want. Now again, let's just pick up the Devoted Duelist. It's a flurry card. For 1, it deals damage whenever I cast my second spell. I have cheap spells. And here's another Sunpearl Kirin versus a Salt Road Pack Beast. And you know what? I do like the Salt Road Pack Beast. Do I like the Sunpearl Kirin more? I don't have any like enchantment or other cool enter the battlefield effects. Only the Mardu Devotee that helps me scry. So I think Salt Road Pack Beast is just the better pick actually, because it draws me a card and it's probably going to be pretty cheap later on. So happy to see that coming my way. And I am grateful for good red and white cards coming from the left, so I will probably get rid of the 2 counter spells. By the way, friends, if you're enjoying this so far, why don't you show some love by hitting that like or subscribe button down below. It helps the channel grow and I'd appreciate it a lot. But so here, Jeskai Devotee, definitely one of those. Helps us again with the splash, white. So we shouldn't have, already have kind of 3 white and red sources. We could splash the blue if it's really necessary, but at the moment I would love not to splash it. I would rather go with this deck, go super hard, go super aggressive, and win some games, hopefully. Last draft I did was also pretty nice. Runescale Stormbrood versus Jeskai Monument versus Devoted Duelist. And you know what? I'll just pick up another one of those because that is a pretty darn good card. Dealing a damage whenever I cast a second spell makes me happy. And here's just nothing. Nothing that I'm interested in. Maybe Summit Intimidator, just because it can make some creature not block, but it's not my favorite card. Those 2 cards I will be happily swapping for something better. So I'm happy to pick up a Underfoot Underdogs. That's 2 bodies for 3 mana, which is everything I want here. And it's a cheap spell, so I'd rather play the Underfoot Underdogs than the Summit Intimidator, actually. Yeah. The Wild Ride I would maybe play It's just okay, but it does work, and it's a cheap second spell for triggering Flurry. So why not put it in the deck here? Now we have Iridescent Tiger, Meticulous Artisan, and a Twin Bolt. But you know what? I'll take the Coordinated Maneuver. Super happy that wheeled. So that makes me extremely happy. And here's another Devoted Duelist. So far, the archetype is feeling... It's not the typical Mobilize archetype. It's much more kind of the Flurry archetype. But Red and White Flurry can be pretty strong and pretty fast and pretty aggressive. And I love playing aggro decks, especially in Tarkir Dragonstorm. And actually, you know, I also loved playing aggro decks in all other kinds of formats. Aggro is just super fun and super easy most of the time, pretty easy to play. So sometimes all those complex board states are too much for my mind. So having a nice little red and white aggro deck is just always super solid. Alright, nothing in here. Probably will be the same for the other packs. Fresh start. Coming in pick number 12. Nobody is in blue, but I'll take the Meticulous Artisan, even though I don't need it, because it is red mana fixing. Wow, so many good blue counter spells. If I don't find more removal spells in red and white, I should consider splashing blue just for those removals. But I'm just hoping for... Here's a Voice of Victory. Mobilize 2. And I think I want the Voice of Victory. I think it's the best card for me. 2 mana, 1/3 mobilizes. So, yeah. Happy to pick this up. Another super solid playable card that fits into my strategy. And waiting for the next pick. Alright. Now we have another Coordinated Maneuver. That makes me happy because that is a super solid removal spell and I will not have to splash blue. Making me pretty happy. I only have one mobilized card. This one. And this one. Dragonback Lancer. Here I'll take another Riling Dawnbreaker. Or should I take the Fire Rim Form? Giving a creature first strike. I think the deck needs some kind of interactive spells. And this is just not good enough. This is good enough. Just a super solid 2-drop. I'll still take the 2-drop before taking the Fire Rim Form. And here's a War Effort. Wow. That makes me pretty happy. So I will play the War Effort definitely. I will... And here's another Coordinated Maneuver, but there's also a Narcissus Rebuke. But you know what? I'll think this Coordinated Maneuver is just super strong. And here's a Descendant of Storms. This couldn't go any better, actually. This is just really cool and makes me pretty darn happy. The next card I would swap for some better is the Stormshriek Feral. Twin Bolt, the War Effort I will definitely play. Yeah, looking like a super solid aggro deck, making me happy when an archetype is that open, especially if it's the one I'm drafting. So let me know if you would have made some different picks. That would be interesting for me. What, am I stupid for picking those cards, or do you agree with me? What would you have done differently in this draft? Let me know in the comments. That helps to improve my game. And also, wow, another Coordinated Maneuver. That's 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5. I don't think I should be playing that many. Destroy target enchantment. Wow. But you know what? I'll still keep it. Why not? Having 6. Here's a Bearer of Glory. I will pick up that one because it's a 2-drop that can pump my whole team. Makes me pretty happy. So I'll put out the Twin Bolt and probably also the Stormshriek Feral. So now I have 23 cards. No mana fixing, but the Mardu Devotee plus the 2 Jeskai Devotees. It's kind of like 3 duels. And here's just also nothing. So let's just, I think that's probably my deck. In my sideboard, there's nothing too interesting here. Seize the Opportunity can be okay if I attack with some cards, but I don't think I want to swap one of the cards that I have for the Seize the Opportunity. So I think those cards are just stronger. Having 4, 5, 6 removal spells, that's a solid amount, especially in this aggro deck, and the rest are cheap stuff creatures. This makes another token whenever I attack, so that's actually kind of cool. Okay, I don't think that there's much more good stuff coming my way. Another Wild Ride, yeah, sure, but I think the deck is solid, and I can't wait to give it a shot, to try it out. All right. Yeah, makes me happy. 2 Cories is actually really cool. I had a deck in the beginning of the format where I had 3 Cories, and that was just insane. That was just insane. So, last pick. That's the deck. I will play it exactly like this. I won't change a thing. Maybe even cut 1 planes. So I have 16 lands and instead put in a Wild Ride. You know what? Maybe just Seize the Opportunity, because it can give 2 creatures +1 +2 +1. So I'll play it like that. That was the draft part of this video. If you like it, show some love by hitting the like or subscribe button down below. It helps the channel grow, and I'd appreciate it a lot. If you want to watch the games, click the link in the description, or maybe I can manage to put it in here. So yeah, and I wish you a nice day.